It's not about Mheshimiwa, it is about you as the people. What do you think? I mean, do you support that the document is good the way it is? If not so, then why do you support so? Those are the kinds of conversations that we need to have. Makiu, you need to remember that there are people who will not read the document, in as much as we're always told that it's important we go through the document. So for few of us who've been able to read, I think it is only fair that we have that healthy conversation and we take sneak peeks of technically what is within this document, and we help enlighten the common mwananchi. It is okay to differ. It is okay to agree with the document. It is okay to agree with few clauses, and the conversation continues. So in the event that we find ourselves at that point where we have to go for a referendum, then at least we'll be approaching this on a sober manner, a point of knowledge. Welcome once again. And like I said, it's a full house of activities. We are having a sort of a baraza, or a town hall session that we get to ponder on the same, and we feel and get to hear what the people in the house think about this crucial document that is instrumental towards us formulating the future of the country. I think it is only fair that I start with the ladies. No, I will not start with the ladies. I'll just take it as like, or better yet, I say everyone needs to introduce themselves. Eric is right next to me, so of course I'll be at least that much, and I can tell. I think it's only fair that we all introduce ourselves briefly as we proceed to the conversation. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, so you have the microphone. Kindly start, introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you. I am Robert from Nandi County, and I am here to hear my opinion. I'm entitled to an opinion on the issues BBI. It affects the common man. So we shall engage more on the same.
Robert comes with some proper bravado. He is entitled to an opinion, so yes.
Thank you, Linda.
Right.
My name is Njuguna Njohi from Nyandarua County. I'm a political analyst and a social justice crusader.
Right.
Yes, and I'm happy to be here, hosted alongside this committee of eminent persons.
Right, indeed. It is a committee of eminent persons. Gloria has a microphone, so you can pass that one to Magalu meanwhile, or
Morning, Linda.
Yes, morning. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I always say to the youth that one of the things we have is to just show up. So when you called me, I said I'll show up.
Thank you.
I want to point out that we have not achieved the 2/3 gender rule in this panel. But we will do our best to represent the ladies out there. I'm Gloria Roba, and I'm a youth policy analyst. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right.
Morning. My name is Njoroge John. I'm a young labor unionist in this nation, representing the voices of the young workers in this nation. I work with the Kiambu County in the health sector, and I'm here in the capacity of the branch secretary to the Kenya National Union of Nurses. I also double up as the chairman, Kotu Youth Kenya, Thika region.
All right.
And the fact that the BBI has nothing or a zero issue with health issues in this nation, then we are a perturbed nation because we are gambling with the health of our citizens. It is a sad affair.
The conversation has started already. Edna, I'm afraid that most of the times when I invite ladies, they don't show up or they tend to shy away. So maybe that's one of the reasons why we probably have not been able to be successful on the 2/3 conversation. So I'm glad that you and Gloria are here today. So introduce yourself.
Morning. My name is Edna Njoki from Muranga. I'm a young farmer, politically aware.
All right.
And also I'm a mother. I'm here to discuss about 2/3 gender rule, which we feel it's yet to be realized, it's yet to be real, and it's up to us women to turn up to the opportunities and show that we're capable as men are.
All right, thank you. As a mother, one would agree that it is only fair that we have this conversation because, well, the conversation is about the future. Probably not so much of what it is that we're going to get as a people, but what it is that our children, our children's children will be able to get.
Yes, I'm Boro Karanja from Muranga County. I'm a businessman, and I also have come here to discuss some issues relating to the youth and the Republic of Kenya, as well as BBI and everything.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. How are you, Rida?
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I'm Joseph Mungimuraya from Nakuru County, Naivasha Sub-County. And I'm a youth representative and also a businessman.
Yeah.
So we are here to discuss issues that are affecting youth.
Right.
What is inside the BBI? What we would prefer, as we are saying, the way to consensus.
Yes.
So as we can get a proper and a good document
Right.
that can govern this country.
Okay. Solomon?
My name is Solomon Kuria. I'm a young Kenyan who is very focused on addressing the issues affecting young people in this country.
Yeah.
I am here to discuss also the issues of the young people because there's nothing for us without us. And thank you for something like this. I've not seen it anywhere else.
Right.
So thank you TV47
Thank
for
you.
thinking about this. And for a very long time, issues affecting young people in this country have been discussed without the presence of young people. So it is a time we start doing the things differently.
All right.
Thank you.
Eric?
Hi, thank you, Linda. Thank you, TV47, for organizing such a good forum. Although it should take a longer time, 2-3 hours.
I agree.
So much to be engaged, and especially in the evening from 7 to 10.
Yes,
So
I
that
agree.
we can have a good forum and engage well. I'm a medic, and I'm really passionate about BBI. I'm one of the writers of BBI. I participate in almost all committees, though I turned no because of them removing the Health Service Commission. As a medic, I'm really perturbed, and many other things we need to discuss. Yes.
Right. Well, I always say that sometimes time will never be there. And I think everyone agrees to that we'll always create a time to have this conversation. So we might only look at it as though it's just an hour and a half, but I'm sure that out of this 1 hour and a half, we're able to speak out volumes, especially, we don't necessarily have to go through the 204-page document, but we can pick key points. For instance, we all speak of being youth, and it is of great interest that we address the interest of the youth on this particular document. The latest on matters BBI, and I think that's where we should start from, is the fact that the signatures are with the IEBC, and the IEBC says they cannot proceed the verification process until that point when they get funding. And we're talking about 241 million or so to speak, which the Secretariat of the BBI says, is way too much. And that brings the question of the funding process of the BBI at a time when the country is grappling with tough times, and medics will tell you they are not in the best of shape. It is pretty much unfortunate, and eyes on President Uhuru Kenyatta to see what will he release first. Will he release, the money for the signature verification process? Will he release cash for doctors to get PPEs and fundings? Will he release money to cushion us at this point when we're having our students going back to school? That is the hugest question. So I'll probably start with the ladies. Edna, you want to go first? You are a mom. I don't know, how old is your baby? Are they in school already?
Oh, she's just 2 years.
She's just 2 years.
Yeah.
But you headed there.
Yeah.
So to speak, the aspect of the BBI funding, because that's where we are at as it now. Do you suppose then that it was necessary for us to have this conversation, having not really had a clear picture as to where we get the funding and how this money is going to be disseminated across the different, positions that the BBI holds?
First, I would like to say that we should hold our priorities light.
Okay.
Like education and health should be among those things that we are trying to uplift in this country to fight poverty and lack of education. Again, BBI, it's time for BBI.
Okay.
I support BBI because I believe it's going to bring the change that we need. We're going to have a conducive environment for entrepreneurs, for farmers to do their farming properly. Because there's one thing that I've noted with BBI.
Yeah.
There are those people who feel if this leader is in those top executive posts, I'm well represented. It's not because he's going to bring daily bread for them. No, they just want to feel they have their person there. And if it's going to bring peace in this country, why should we fail this BBI?
All right. We all agree that maybe there's so much that we're dealing with as a country as it now, but also some of the people like you would agree that we also need a conversation on, amendment of the Constitution, because after all, COVID-19 is here to stay, and a couple of other issues that we've still stayed with, for years. And so that does not lock us from having a conversation on something that will be progressive for us. So the biggest problem is how to balance this. The biggest question is what it is that Edna has said, the aspect of getting our priorities right. Just how best can we still have the conversation on amending the constitution or a constitutional moment, but at the same time, how our priorities looked at?
Let me say something.
Yeah.
We need to know that a government is not like a home. A government is not run like the way you run your home.
Okay.
A government is like a very huge tree that all of us here, and maybe so many out there, cannot hold and make a complete circumference around the tree. That means a government can do so many things at a go.
Okay.
So we're going to have a referendum. We are going to have the recovery process, COVID recovery process,
Yes.
that has already kick-started, because a government is not like an individual. And we must say that there are some people who are getting petty, and allow me to say that, who are saying, let us now hold a conversation about 2022 elections and the aftermath. We stopped discussing that because we have COVID. No, I mean, there was life before COVID. There will be life after COVID. So we must plan ourselves. Are we going to wait for another political violence in 2022? We have the time to handle that. The resources we need for that, let it be provided. The issues affecting the medics and other people, like teachers who will be back at work, we have the ministries in charge. Let them handle that.
Okay.
As also we handle the future or the political future of this country. So I believe we need to know what a government is.
All right.
Can
Are we
handle
genuine,
so many
Brian?
issues.
Yes. I would like, first of all, to take this opportunity and wish our president a happy holiday.
Okay.
In the first place, he's going for a leave.
Yeah.
So if that is the kind of priority we are talking about, I'm wishing him well. My friends here are genuinely talking, but we must be honest with ourselves.
Right.
Edna has said that we must take what is of priority
Right.
and focus on it. What is of more priority in this country? Is it that doctors that are dying while they are on the line of their duty, that is not what can disturb our president's mind? I'm asking, what is of more priority in this country? And I want to ask my friend Solomon. I come from Nakuru County, where we are at a metropolitan.
Yeah.
My neighbor, immediate neighbor, is a Ruya. And we interact freely. Even she cannot wait and see the rain on my clothes.
Right.
She can pick it for me.
Right.
We go even to the Rick Naivasha, and people there, we have groups. So we contribute from every tribe. So it's not that we are fighting. It's only that people are instigating fight to us, yet we are living in peace where we are.
Hold it right there. And
Thank you, Linda. First of all, we must stop misusing the word priority.
Okay.
BBI is a priority to all Kenyans. Yes, we agree we have doctors' issues, they are on strike, but we cannot allow doctors to hold us hostage. Their strikes have become a thing they do every year.
okay.
They are now holding the government hostage. They want more salaries in the middle of a pandemic.
Okay.
This pandemic is like a war. A war in war. Soldiers have to die. And sorry for saying that. Italy has lost 115 doctors.
Okay.
Kenya has lost about 8.
Oh.
Our numbers are not that bad, honestly.
Right.
In terms of priorities, we have bigger priorities as a country.
You should see how Gloria is looking at
every election year in here, we have a cycle of violence. That is a priority we must treat
kindly,
before
Linda.
the next general election.
Linda, kindly let me interject.
Youth issues are a priority.
Let me interject.
Our youths have been economically
marginalized. Let me interject.
Our youths have been economically marginalized.
Yes. Okay,
for so long, it's a priority.
Let me interject.
Our women have been marginalized in terms of leadership for so long. It's a priority. And the BBI is here to sort all that. And finally, we must be cognizant and appreciate the fact that we have a president who recognizes and appreciates the capacity of our youth. And he is ready to empower them. He is ready to empower our women by having them in Senate 50-50 vis-a-vis men.
All right.
Thank you, Linda.
Then Gloria, then, oh, you're here. All right, we'll first go to Eric, and then we go to Gloria. Then we'll come to you, John, and then come back to you.
Thank you, Linda. I appreciate what my brother is saying. We are not, he's saying doctors. Yeah. Let me put it medics. They are not only doctors who are on strike. They are nurses and clinical officers. Could they be on strike at the same time, all of them? What is the main problem? They know the main problem. It is our government laxity on providing the necessity to go to war. So you go to war against another country and you don't have guns or bombs or anything to go to war with? We are not fighting BBI. We are just fighting for the very normal thing. A PP is to assist him if he gets sick of COVID, not even me. Surely, this guy should be very much brighter enough to argue such things. Secondly, yes. Youths. We have youth commission, is it? Health Service Commission was removed from BBI. Why, what is Youth Commission doing there? We had Youth Council. What did the Youth Council achieve that now we need Youth Commission? Tell me what Gorse Melango did or any other people have done up to today to uplift youths. And you had Youth Council all the way to the village level. Okay? They were to provide everything that is in the Youth Commission. What have they done so that you can have a Youth Commission? I mean, they are talking about war. We are going to have 5 people on this side, meaning President, Prime Minister, You understand? Right. So let me ask you, if the 5 people on this side wins, and the 5 people on this side feel aggrieved, not lost, feel aggrieved, will we not go to war? So do we really need war or not war? Or do we need a good institution of IBC where elections are credible and can be followed up so that everyone who loses is okay? Why do we fight? Do we fight because we need positions, or do we fight because an incredible election? I mean, we don't need 10 people up there.
All right, hold it right there. Let's allow
If
Gloria
I'm arguing wrong, tell me.
We'll come to you, Solomon, later. Gloria.
What did you say your name is? I didn't get your name.
Joy.
Sir, you know, I've sat in many panels, but this is the first time I've sat in a panel where someone is saying we go to war, soldiers die.
Yeah.
You know,
there must be casualties.
So sad.
Personally, I want to, first of all, I'm a military wife.
Yes.
So when I hear some of these comments, I know that for a fact they don't really understand the concept of the value of life. When you hear someone saying that, you know, you go to war, some soldiers die, but our priority now is to make sure that we don't have violence in 2022 so that people don't die. So
sad.
Anyway, for me, I would say it's not even an issue of priority. You can't be talking about the doctors are always going on strike, they're holding the government hostage. They're holding the government hostage is not even a statement you can put anywhere, because who is the government? The government is an institution. The government is actually funded by you. You pay taxes so that those taxes can provide a service to you. So when you're saying that the doctors are holding the government hostage, ideally you're trying to say that the doctors are holding you hostage. So what your concern should be is that this money that I'm giving to this institution known as the government, why isn't it getting to the doctors? And at the end of the day, when you listen to what the doctors are actually asking for, it's not just about the salaries. They're talking about their frontline workers. They need personal protective gear. They need to also be sitting in those councils, which this ghost government, if you want to call it, because you're saying government is as if it's a person, is actually sitting down with technocrats and not including the medical workers and trying to understand, like, what is their plight? Why are they on this level? It's not only government medics, it's also the education sector. We have so many people going on strike. And I've had my lady colleague panelist on the other side talk about we have to prioritize, but then again BBI is good because it's actually going to provide a conducive environment for youth to prosper. And that's a fallacy, because if you read on, for instance, even just shared prosperity, if you go to that document and read on what they're pointing out as shared prosperity, they're actually talking about the issues that we are suffering in terms of access to registering businesses and things like that, but they're not really providing solutions. They're not actually saying that going forward, we are actually going to make sure that all these small and medium enterprises that are always being harassed by City Council, this is the stopgap measure that we are going to put. So at the end of the day, to me, first of all, it's very clear, Linda, that a lot of people on this panel have not read that document. Because if they had read that document, the thing that someone should be, when someone says that BBI is going to produce a conducive environment, I would like for them to reference what is written in BBI, the 204 page, and actually say on page 26, or page 30, or in this subsection, blah, blah, blah. They have talked about this is what they're going to do. Yes, there's some good things inside that document, including when they're trying to create a new institution for the youth by calling it the National Youth Commission. That is a good thing, because the only difference they're doing is the National Youth Council that we have right now under the Ministry of Gender is not necessarily an autonomous institution, meaning they take their lead from the ministry. So if the minister, the cabinet secretaries and the PSs don't necessarily have that youth agenda in mind, of course that can be lost. The difference that we have with the National Youth Commission that is being proposed by BBI is that it's going to be an autonomous agency that will have its own board, that will have its own constituency of leadership, and so therefore they will have a little bit of leeway. But we don't need a document to be able to do that. The only thing they could have done is that they could have just taken the National Youth Commission and told us, because it's being housed under this ministry that is not really proactive on the youth agenda, we are going to move it and turn it into an autonomous institution. And then we are going to continue, because the mandate is their mandates are exactly the same.
John.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I think we need to balance the views.
Yes, we're coming. All right, we're coming to you. Solomon, at least you've had a chance to speak. John hasn't. Kibirok has not spoken.
I'm saying views for and views against. We might appear like we came to
no problem. Now, who are for and who are against?
I've seen so many people saying they are against.
You and
yes,
Edna.
I am.
You are also for. You will come after.
Yes, that's the point.
I am for the youth agenda, not for against that document.
You're fighting a document.
All right, John.
Truth is simple. Truth is simple. We are talking so much about a BBI document, yet what I hold in my hands is never realized in this nation. We just celebrated the 57th Jamhuri Independence Day, and yet this constitution is still kind of a gem hidden somewhere to so many of us. Now, it is so sad from what we've just heard this morning. And Wananjohi, I wish you good health.
Thank you.
But I wish you walked up this hill and enter MP Shah Hospital, Aga Khan Hospital, and then go to our hospitals, in the government hospitals, and you find people without resources. Us as medics is neither that document or what we want health. Health is defined this way, for those who do not know. It is not merely an absence of disease. It is not merely when you are awake and your mind is okay, you are breathing, you are coughing well, you are going to open bowels, that is health. You are psychologically upright and can be able to speak and get a feedback, that is health. It is not just mere absence of a disease. And we are asking, are we going then to wait for dead bodies to vote for that BBI? Wanjohi or Njohi, I've heard you say we have just 130. It is not just 130. One soul is a Kenyan soul. When American soldiers, one of them dies, it is an American soldier. Why and what are we doing then when we just count every day 200 Kenyans have COVID? It's not just 240 Kenyans. These are 240 Kenyans. Most of them who are youths. And us seated here, we represent that number. And so when you removed a whole body of health as a commission in that BBI document, then it became null and void. Whether I support it or not, I may have no powers because we know we live in a political world. Sure. But dear ones,
all right.
Dear ones, and I want to ask Njohi, and those who come from Naivasha, how many more years, after 57 years, do we need to refer our patients to Nairobi? Yet we have 47 governments who say that we cannot have ICUs, ideal ICU, in every of the 47 counties. Kiambu County number 1. And let me say this, Kiambu County number 1 from behind. Because 57 years later, we do not have an ideal ICU in Kiambu County.
John.
This is sad. This is sad.
John, let's allow Mburu to come in.
Okay.
And then we'll come to Kibitok and then come.
There's one thing I'll talk about.
Right.
When you talk about BBI, we are adding most resources to the county from 15% to that 5%.
Right.
That means the health sector, maybe it will be appreciated since it was default.
Maybe.
Yes, maybe. Because, yes.
15% reaching the ground.
Just wait.
Let him make his point.
Of course.
We can allow him to conclude,
yes,
because even that 15% and the 35% you're talking about are numbers in the air.
Yes.
Because you know very well that there is no money to begin with. Whether I get 30%, whether I get 30% of zero Kenya shillings.
There's no money in Kenya because I'm not in the treasury. But what I will argue about the document, we need to let the Kenyans read the document.
Okay.
If you had Mr. President, wait, if you had Mr. President talking, he said the American Constitution has been amended that 7 times. Yes. We cannot put everything in the BBI first. Wait, Moraya, wait. We cannot put everything in the BBI. Okay. But what we can do, let us read the document, let the Kenyans read the document. Then about the medic, we are talking about the medic. What about the police officers who are killed? Wawa kiwawa, sisi hatuongeagi.
All right. Okay.
But sisi tukiongea mambo ya daktari,
allow Kibitok to come in briefly.
Be very honest
yes.
With ourselves. Bro is saying.
Bro, put the microphone on him.
Yes, he's saying that we let Kenyans read the document. Yet there is no copies. Let me tell you, we are verifying. We are verifying what? No. We are at a point of verifying signatures. Is it? Yes. Where are the copies that we need to Kenyans to read?
All right, Kibitok.
Be honest with yourself.
Gentlemen, let's allow. Be honest. All right, Solomon, we're coming to you. Let's first allow Kibitok say something. Kibitok.
Yeah, thank you, Linda.
Hold it right, gentlemen and lady. Let's listen to Kibitok.
And let us be civil.
Okay, thank you, Linda, for this opportunity. Yeah? I am surprised beyond what my wits can withstand. For the fact that I'm realizing there are people who are for the BBI. In my area, that thing doesn't exist.
Okay.
Secondly,
why doesn't it? Because you don't have copies like they say, or because?
Really, the thing does not exist in many aspects.
Okay.
One, we have very crucial issues to handle at the moment. The COVID-19. Life is not something to gamble with.
Okay.
Hiyo ni kitu kikushika unakufa. So we need to save the lives of human beings first. So the idea of PPI was really good, literally, from the objectives the president wanted to achieve. But it never set for us the basis. Yes, we have identified the problem that in every election there must be a post-election violence or so. So those were the problems. Now the PPI came in. It wanted to sort out those issues. But the unfortunate part of it is that they came with mechanisms which are still not sufficient to say they are going to sort what? Okay. They are not going to sort those issues the president had highlighted, the post-election. We talk of inclusivity. From the word go, if you go through that document, I want to dispute what, I don't know the name. Gloria, what Gloria said.
Yes.
Gloria, I want to dispute by saying, we have read that thing, we have gone through it. Though we are struggling to get a copy, unlike how we were given the PBI, whatever, to sign the signatures. That thing, the PBI thing, at the moment we have financial crisis in this country. They are talking about inclusivity, where the president is given the power to appoint the prime minister. The prime minister is going to lie under the mercies of the president. So supposing, and they have said, this prime minister is going to come from the what? From the MPs, majority, the party that is the ruling party.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry to quote the deputy president, maybe somebody is of different opinion, but allow me to use that as an example. The deputy one time said, supposing now we have you as the president, you are from the ruling party, you appoint your prime minister from that ruling position. So where is inclusivity going to come? The second thing, allow me to go. The second thing, the 2010 constitution is talking about a minimum of 15% allocation to the counties.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give us the minimum. That thing was drafted as a result of the Act of Parliament, right?
Yeah.
Why is it not effected at that side? Why should we subject Kenyans to those questions, yet we can develop it through the referendum, through the Parliament?
Through the currents, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The second thing, allow me to finish on
briefly.
It is at this time that the Kenyans of sober minds should stand for themselves, lest you want us to perish. It is time we act with sobriety to defend what we want. If we are thinking about expanding an executive to sort out our problems, it is a terrible mistake we are going to do. We cannot, BBI to have the expansion of executive is a very good idea, but not at this time when we have a very crippling economy. Watu wengi wamekuja huko reserve sana. Kutoka huko Nairobi maisha imekuwa ngumu. Tutafanya nini hawa salasi?
Solomon.
Yeah, allow me say the following, that one, for a young person in this panel to say that they have not read the BBI, total laziness. Sure. Laziness of the highest order. I can understand my mother when she said she has not read the document. But this thing is available everywhere.
Where?
Just have a phone. Let me finish. And this is the issue amongst the young people.
Yeah.
They think if they don't know, it doesn't exist. And I'm saying this. If you just go to the BBI website, which is already up and running, where some people did their signatures, and I could even see some people who are against the document going there and drawing some cartoons and saying some other things. But I'm saying this, before you signed that document, that thing online, the document was there on the site. So you are supposed to click on the document, download, read, take your time, not print. Why are you printing?
Was 1 week enough for people to do that?
This is what I'm saying. I'm telling you this.
Linda,
if you write an article with full of nonsense on Facebook, it doesn't matter how many pages. There could be 200. A young person will finish reading. Put a document there.
Right.
I've seen them. Go to that thing they are calling today the driving couples. You'll see a very long story of over 4 pages. They will finish reading that. But once you put something like a BBI document, no, they say, Nyamatajiri. Let us be honest with ourselves. Number 2, let me finish, Ragaro. You have had your time. Let me have my time. And let us be civil in our engagements here. Number 2, my friend here has talked about amendment. I don't know what he is talking about. This constitution is 10 years old. Where we have borrowed so much of this constitution is America, the biggest democracy in the world. 2 months after they promulgated their constitution, there was an amendment. Up to date, it has been amended 25 times until they have a watertight constitution. I mean, we cannot have a rigid document that we say, now this one is like ile maneno ya Mungu, the 10 commandments. Nobody can change. We must amend. Lastly,
a mature democracy, remember, is America. You cannot compare America to how we have in terms of
Ina, I'm telling you, you're not listening to me.
Okay,
I am telling you that 2 months after promulgation of their constitution, they amended.
Yes.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yes.
That was their first constitution. Were they mature democracy by then? Were they mature?
Not at times, but at least you cannot compare them.
Nobody was born mature, so you must get that. They were not. So they have walked a journey. And I'm telling you this right now, right here. We must stop getting issues wrong. I'm sure we did not come here to discuss the issues of the doctors. We came here to discuss the BBI. But since it has come up, let me say this. The doctors lost it somewhere. And this is it. You're saying you don't want a statute, you want a commission. But can I ask you a question? Is health devolved?
It is.
So, Who deals
Is youth divorce?
Who deals with the youth? Who deals with the you know, when a commission comes?
No, tell me if youth divorce.
Just a minute.
Youth have a commission. Is it not divorce?
That's a vague question, one.
Yes.
That's a vague one. Youth is not a profession.
It is divorce.
It is not a
Youth is not a career. Oh God.
Youth is not a profession.
So youth is among
Linda, so Linda, protect me. Protect me as I say this.
All right.
I want to give you an analogy
Yeah.
with the Teacher Service Commission. The main role of the Teacher Service Commission is to employ, deploy, transfer, hire, fire teachers. Are we together?
Yes.
So we're going to have a commission, we are calling it Health Commission. But the role to employ, fire, hire is with the county governments. So did they get it right? They would have gotten it right if they said, we want health
Back to the national government.
back to the national
Okay.
government.
All
We
right.
start there. And then we can say now, it is in the national government now, let us have a commission. The only thing that BBI could have offered is a statute to offer guidance at the policy level.
Sure.
Because much of the functions are with the county governments.
Okay.
Let us get it right. Let us stop
Right.
blaming
Linda.
You're not a medic.
Let's answer this.
What on that? What on that?
You've been told.
Let's answer
Let me, no, I'm a medic.
Ali, he's just trying
What
to
on
support his
that?
point, and then you're going to
What on
respond.
that?
And then let's
What
make
on
it
that?
very brief.
What on that?
Make it brief.
Linda, kindly protect me. My wife is a medic, by the way,
Okay.
and she's on strike, and I'm very mad at her because of that.
Yeah?
We must, yes, I'm very mad at her.
Yes, I
We
know,
must
I know her,
stop-
I know her.
We must
Yes,
stop
true.
politicizing the issue of health. And one thing I could recommend,
He lives
we must,
with a medic.
we should abolish these unions in the health sector. And by the way, health is a calling, it's a vocation. This is not being a medic is. You should not use being a medic as a path to milk resources from the government.
As a path to
This is a
milk
calling.
resources from the
I would like
government.
these medics here to tell us today, how are they feeling when they see mothers delivering on the streets? Because they are picketing out there because of salaries. We must do away with these unions. We cannot use the health sector as a launching pad for people like Njoroge here to launch into politics. We have seen union leaders ending up in
We have him, and
politics.
then
Hello.
it comes to you.
Yeah.
All right,
Hello,
make it brief.
let me answer my brother
Kindly
there.
give the microphone to
Bro,
John.
you talked about police are also in this. Let me tell you, we are not covered. All medics are not covered. Police have Police Service Commission. Police have comprehensive NHIF. When a police gets sick, I treat policemen in Nairobi West Hospital. I quote you now. And in Nairobi West, when they come to that hospital, police don't pay anything until they leave. A medic gets sick, becomes sick, will be treated by the fellow medics' friends, but will still have to pay bills. You understand? Why are we not given comprehensive health cover? And here we have MPs given a 10 million comprehensive health cover. Bro, you have to love yourself.
All right.
Let me going to this.
Make it
You talked about, bro. You talked about what we were asking. There was a difference between medics and the counties. You find Murang'a County medics are not better remunerated than Kiambu. You are employed at the same level. You find Murang'a, Kiambu is higher the person who employed with you because amepandishwa cheo, job group imepanda. Murang'a is still lagging. I'm telling you what is happening today. So what we wanted is bring human resource aspect of medics alone into the government so that they can be taken care of. In any the other levels of hospital,
You cannot,
the county
you
can
cannot do that. You cannot do that having not transferred the function. You cannot.
All right, hold it right now. Let's have John and
That's
come
the
back to
point.
Gloria.
Let me speak.
We go to John, we come to Gloria, and then you pass the microphone to Edna.
Anyone who says then we take health to the national government, then you are denying devolution.
Yes.
It's wrong.
Okay.
That is number one. Two, no one is happy to see a mother deliver on the streets. But the question is, I'm a profession. Who is a policy maker? I'm not a policy maker. In any way or in any case, when we come to join those health sectors, people ignore us as professionals. Allow me to take you to Tigoni. Johi, allow us to teach you some things here. Let's walk to Tigoni Hospital today. Since March 1, somebody or a leader or a governor said, and I'm open on this, because somebody here is saying we must be honest. Today, I will not recommend anyone. Solomon, if you get COVID today, I will not recommend you.
God forbid.
Go to Tigoni COVID Center because that is just a shell. You know, a building and a chair is not a house, it's not a home.
And leader, you know they are not here to
That's
defend
the failure
themselves.
of?
Okay.
You must avoid
That's the
that.
failure of?
Right.
They are not here to
What
defend
does the
themselves.
governor stand for? Devolution.
We stand for
And those are the people we are speaking
The
to.
governors were given monies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Money was released.
Thank you, Njohi. Now, stop it there.
You know you're out of order mentioning Tigoni. They are not here to defend themselves.
I work in Kiambu County.
No,
I'm a branch secretary of Kiambu County. My wife works in Tigoni
Are they here to
Hospital.
defend themselves?
No, they are not here. We are leaders.
Examples.
We are giving examples.
Yes. It is wrong.
Now,
Yeah,
allow me to
we do
speak
not
as
get
a
deep.
midwife. Allow me to speak as a midwife. And I'll take you to two places. I work in Gedongori Health Center. It's a level 3 hospital. We have up to 70 deliveries every month. Free of charge.
Thank you, Linda Mama.
Free of charge, yes, that Linda Mama. But can I shock you who is financing Kiambu County? It's the health department. It's so sad. Then may I walk you to Tigoni Hospital back again, please, Solomon?
But we do not go deep.
Yes,
All right.
and I want to do this. We only have beds. We don't have ICU amenities.
That is an issue we should handle.
Johi.
Honestly, we can't be here to
Johi.
discuss Kiambu.
If we are not to discuss Kiambu, then we are also here. We are also not here to discuss any other country, as he is giving
We're citing
examples.
examples.
Yes,
BBI.
we are using examples. Is America here to defend itself?
Yes.
What are you saying? What are you telling us?
All right, hold on.
Kenya has lost.
You don't have a microphone, Eric. You don't have a microphone.
Let me speak.
Allow John to finish. Let it brief John.
Yeah.
Allow John to finish. Eric,
Yes.
allow John to finish.
When
Let it
somebody
brief so we come
says,
to Gloria.
when Johi, you want to say that you want to kill unions in the health sector, then you are killing, your wife.
Thank you.
All
Because
right.
unions are a part of a constitutional body. Unions, and we all know the history of unions in this world. It was workers who united for a common purpose and a goal.
Okay.
When work goes wrong, or when work goes wrong, when health goes wrong, dear ones, today we are saying a mask is not a political statement. It is a fact. You don't joke with science, enjoy it. You don't joke with
Gloria,
science.
let's allow Gloria to come in.
Linda, before I wrote this,
All right.
I want to ask my friend here, Solomon.
And you're asking questions, you're not giving me time to respond.
Okay, I will give you. You will be given time.
All right.
In Kenya, there is no one who is against BBI document. What we are asking is for consensus. The medics want to put them the service commission to be in the BBI. The clergy want their views to be heard. The youth also want their views to be heard. Let me ask Solomon, and he must be given time to answer
That
this.
is after.
Yeah.
It's a quick rejoinder.
This,
I'll throw in.
In this way, let Johi and Solomon explain to me in the very simplest term how youth have been involved in the BBI. Do we need BBI to have the 7 years tax holiday? Do we need BBI for the help to be stopped for the 4 years? I just need a simple explanation whether it's a legislative agenda or it's a BBI a referendum agenda.
Gloria, and before we come to you,
very
Solomon,
simple.
Gloria, I'd love to ask this question. There's still that conversation on the consensus. Maybe we should have a consensus, we should have a multiple approach to it. But the question is that the signatures have already been appended. So you can imagine if you went through the document, then you appended the signature courtesy of the document that is right now. So when we're talking about consensus and making changes on that, then what would it speak to the people who already appended their signatures? Will you then be talking of a scenario where we are proceeding with a document that is against what it is that people signed for?
See, my answer to that would be simple. We have the COVID-19, what is it called? The vaccine.
Okay.
It has come out. If we are lucky enough and we get one of these countries saying they want to support the vaccine to come to Kenya and they're going to bankroll it and bring it, and we start vaccinating Kenyans, And after a week or so, we realized that the vaccine actually has severe side effects to these Kenyans. And these Kenyans, some of them are dying, some of them are becoming disabled. Are we going to withdraw? We'll say, no guys, the vaccine is here. We have 1 million tanks of the vaccine. We have to vaccine everybody. We'll withdraw. Yeah. And that's the analogy I'll give anybody.
All right. Okay. So in this case, because it's not just an issue of changing an administrative role of government. You're going into our constitution and attempting to amend it. You're going into the fundamental of what holds this country as an independent state and attempting to change that. So if we are telling you that this vaccine now is affecting us like this, so there's a chance that this will go very south, any sane person will be like, okay, let's put a hold to this and see what we can do. Okay. And I want to really challenge TV47 to bring in panelists who are not privileged. Because I've been listening to the panelists here, they're privileged. Someone is saying, any young person who has not read BBI is lazy.
Yeah. Because I said in this panel.
Because if you allow me, I allow you.
Don't misquote.
Yes, I've not misquoted you.
Be fair enough.
I've said this panel. Yes.
Anyone who has not read.
And I'm actually.
Why are they here to comment on a thing they have
not
read?
Listen. I've allowed him to speak.
All right. So
and I'll always my 8 to 5 job, because I have an 8 to 5 job that pays my bills. All I do all day and night is speak for the underserved communities of this country, is speak for the underdogs, is speak for those people who cannot drive to TV47 and say ninanyanyaswa hivi. So when I hear someone saying that it is available and it is there on, no, kindly allow me to finish, because I have listened to all you men speak for about 25 minutes. And now I'm speaking. So I've listened to guys saying it is not available. I mean, it is available for everybody. You have smartphones. You just click here when you go to the, you're listening to the terminologies. Click here, download there, things, you know. And then I ask myself, this conversation that we are having here, how relevant is this conversation to a person in Bobasi constituency down in Kisii County who wakes up in the morning to go and farm? You understand? Right. Who wakes up in the morning to just ensure that they have 2 meals, if not 3. Yeah? So when you tell me that government has done, because first of all, this is government funded, and someone corrected me and told me all constitutional amendments, all referendums are government funded. Well, I don't know who funded Punguza Mzigo, but I can tell you they did not receive those billions from government. So the fact that this is government funded, and by government it means we've gone into our pockets. And paid for it, then every single Kenyan who lives in this country has the right to be listened to and to access that document and access it by, when I say access let me complete. When I say access it, I mean access it in the form that if I'm in the farthest Tinderet in Nandi, or is it what constituency, kwa chief pali munawaambia waende kusign, there even if you want to summarize it, that is nimefundisha. And by the way, please, because I have to personally, as the country coordinator of Global Youth Parliament, when this initiative started, we have carried out sensitization of not only the Building Bridges initiative, but the constitution which he was holding. We do civic empowerment to those, but it is not my mandate. You understand? It is not a mandate of the community-based organizations, and government should not assert that responsibility to me. Okay. Unless they fund it.
Let's allow Edna, who's very calm there, to say something. No, we go to Edna and then we go to you and then we come to you. Yes, Edna, please.
Okay, thank you. From the county that I come from, our chiefs are sensitizing people. Wow. Is it happening in other counties?
Yes. Yeah, it's happening. What is this county that you come from?
Murang'a County. Yeah.
Okay.
And they have seen the document.
The people?
Even, those farmers, those people who are in interior, they have seen the document. Right. They have been taught, they know what is there. Youths have read it from the Google.
All right.
Then I want to answer this question of expanding the executive of this economic challenge time. One, we all know that most money in this country gets lost through corruption.
Yes.
It's not through payment, the salaries And if it's going to make me have peace of mind, do my business, I'll rather go for that BBI.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And you think it will do that?
And I'm not yet done. Yes. There's another one. Since the former Prime Minister came to became friends with our president, we have seen a tremendous change. We have not been experiencing those demos every Wednesday. We have not been seeing those tear gas, right? Or am I lying?
Yeah, no, you are right. That is the truth. That is the truth. Linda,
She's
not true.
Are you done?
Facts are stubborn.
Guys.
Okay,
So, and by the way, there are those people who keep on complaining, but there's that mwananchi wa huko Kamkoji. Those people from Murang'a, they have been suffering because of those demos. Their businesses could not go on well, but now they have time. They are thriving now.
Yes.
So let them give time so that everyone can get back to where they were.
I want to ask this question. Aren't you worried that as it is, the document is probably not enjoying or is not bringing so much peace, in the sense that we have dissenting and, you know, also proponents of the same. So it's almost like the country is half-half.
A point of correction, because they interjected as well. A point of correction. If you say that those demos are the reason you're having peace because of the handshake, so I, Gloria Oroba, today, if I'm vying for any seat come 2022, all I have to ensure is that all those youth people that I work with in the slums, that they have enough muscle to go for demonstrations, so that somebody can call me for a handshake, so that we can give you peace.
Definitely. You don't have the microphone.
Linda, let me put it this way. I'm just asking, how many people in this Kenya shook hard? Two of them. How many people are coming out of demos? So what do we need? Is it BBI or the change of mind?
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me speak some.
Yes. Let's have Moro and then we come to you and then we come to Kibito.
The culture of shaking
Let's have
hands.
Moro first.
Mr. Johi, let me just talk.
The culture
Let's
of
have
shaking
Moro
hands.
first,
Mr. Johi.
and then we come to Johi, and then we come to Kibito.
I think these people,
and then to you.
I think these people when they're speaking, hawaangalii nyuma. Kabla tusalimiane tulikuwa na boycott Safaricom, boycott nini Brookside, then there was Lesist. Wait a minute. Then there was that demonstration up to to airport where they went stabbing people. Is it? Then apart from that, yes, Daktari Goja.
Let's allow Moro to finish.
Time yako si kuongea. Wacha nimalize.
You are encouraging those politicians to
You just wait.
To be holding us hostage.
I want to talk about this document. For me, I'm not on medic. I'm not on Nini.
Yes.
So about this document, if you look at the whole thing, there was that task force of 14 people. Where Raila Odinga gave 7, William Ruto gave 3 people, and Uhuru Kenyatta gave 4 people. If you look at those, some of the pending bills that were some of the pending bills that were in Parliament, like the Ward Equalization Fund that was forwarded by Irogo Kangata in the Senate. Ikapita Senate, ikapelekwa kwa committee ya CDF, ikasemekana ipelekwe Parliament. So in the Parliament, it was sabotaged. Right now, it is in the BBI. If we have the Ward Equalization Fund, we'll have the money getting up to Wajiko, where he is. And that is to say that the access road will be well upgraded. Meaning, these people are going to access their businesses fairly well. And what we are supposed to look right now is how are we going to raise our economy? Then, about the BBI, let us not politicize this thing. Let us educate people. Let the people make the decision. Otherwise, if we come here and say BBS is not good, they're forwarding their own grievances, which is very right. But this is the first amendment. You don't know whether when it comes to 2022, there will be another second amendment. Let us talk. Let us be a little.
All right, hold it right there. As we come to you, Johi, allow me to ask this question, and we're coming to Johi, and then hold it right there. If you listen to, I'm just looking at the basics. If you listen to what it is and Moro was talking about, he's talking about a formation of, say, a task force that Raila brings 7, and then Uhuru brings 4, and then the DP brings 3. And I'm asking, is Uhuru and the DP a different lords? Are they a different lord? And then where is the aspect of peace in this case?
Linda, and can you protect me from the human rights activists?
But make it brief. Make it brief.
They are heroes in shouting matches.
Make it brief.
So I want to say this. First of all, the handshake is a culture a seed that was planted in Kenyans by the 2 principles, and it should not end there. It should be a continuous thing that should progress from the principles to every other Kenyan.
Okay.
Tuache kuonana na misingi ya kikabila. Secondly, we must stop politicizing the BBI thing. Hii kitu, it is not about 2022 politics, and that is where the disconnect comes in between the deputy president and the president, because the deputy president sees this thing as something that is now meant to be a bottleneck to his ambitions. We must put that aside.
Well, is that what he said?
Let him not speak on behalf of the DP.
That is not
let him. Yes. Don't talk on behalf of the DP.
I mean, Linda, please let him retract. No.
Yes.
Well, that is not what the DP says.
He needs to withdraw that.
He needs to withdraw
yes.
statement.
Withdraw that.
Retract your statement.
Withdraw that
He's
statement.
not holding brief for the deputy president. And by the way, point of correction: if BBI goes through, the biggest winner is the deputy president. So your statement is wrong, and you do not hold brief for the deputy president.
Okay.
So withdraw your
You will not
statement.
withdraw.
Unless he withdraws.
Withdraw your statement.
It's becoming difficult.
You need to withdraw your
If you are not withdrawing.
All right. Okay. Let's allow. He is entitled to his.
Finally, we must recognize that the BBI process is not a 2 people thing. Right. The committee went around the country, collected views of Kenyans. People were invited to come to the committee and present what they wanted. Okay. I can tell you for a fact, Murai is my friend. It is not the first time I'm seeing him. We have had various interactions elsewhere. Murai never came out to present his views.
No, I'm here to speak on my behalf.
And today,
I'm here to be reader.
Yes.
Reader.
Yes,
I was finally facts
Yes.
are established.
Yes.
The Communication Authority of Kenya released a report that indicated that 75% of Kenyans own smartphones. So
No.
Reader.
No.
Reader.
Linda,
Reader now get it to me.
we are on national
Get it from
TV.
me.
Can somebody? No. Can someone withdraw? No, but they do not. They do not. First of all, let us not lie.
if you can afford about 5
Linda,
Let me answer him.
Something.
Let me answer him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we
I
need
went
to
up to
communicate.
Nakuru. I went up to Nakuru with a memorandum written, signed by the administrations, that we need the administration to be back in the constitution. You know, today we are running the county commissioners and the chiefs and whatever, they are not in the constitution. And I went with a document, memorandum signed by chiefs and DO then.
That was your
in
presentation
Nakuru.
of you.
That was my presentation to the chairman of the committee,
All right,
the
that is a
senator.
lie.
Linda,
All right,
no, point
let's
of
have
correction.
Kibi talk, and then we come to you. Solomon, we're coming to you.
But you know, we have to correct. We're on national TV.
Yes.
Linda. So when somebody comes to national TV to lie, we need to stop them. That is our civic responsibility. As human rights activists who are not champions of shouting, we are champions of saving lives. So you cannot come here and say 75% of Kenyans have got smartphones. What we have, let me give you statistics. Let me educate you. We have 54.6 million Kenyans who are plugged into mobile devices. Mobile devices does not necessarily mean that they can access as internet and they have that capacity to buy data and download the BBI. So let us correct that.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Then we come to you, Eric.
Thank you so much.
Make it
The
brief.
issue at hand,
Yes.
we have been subjected by these politicians, or at the moment, we do believe, even when we are here, I've heard people declaring their stance where they are politically affiliated.
Yeah.
We have been subjected to believe that opposing this PPI is supporting DP.
Okay.
Accepting it is accepting what? Supporting Raila.
The
Kenyans, it is time we think for ourselves. We are the taxpayers to this government.
Thank you.
Number two, we have to, the issue of funds.
Right.
We are not producing, we have no money. Edna amesema tuko na pesa hii Kenya. Choosy, I'm not in a position to really quote whatever forward. We rely on donations, grants, and loans. Kenya saisi, my good friends, we are at the knees.
Our debt is 6.69 trillion.
Uko chini at health sector. Huwezi pata hata Panadol. And you are here. Somebody passed Edna amesema kitu mzuri sana. Umesema since the retired honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga handshake with Uhuru hakujakuwa na maandamano. Is the problem, sasa hiyo problem inafaa tuende PPI. We have identified the problem that is maandamano. So what is the solution to maandamano? Yeah? And then number 2, now you are giving us also another room. Even me, I'll now look to fight for a Senate seat. Nikilusa, I go for maandamano so that I handshake. Is that what you are advocating for? Besides,
Linda,
allow me to finalize by saying.
Finalize and then give area.
Yeah, we are very many.
Solomon, hold it right there.
Yeah, allow me to finalize by saying PBI is a good idea, but not at the right time. Number 2, it came as a result of 2 individuals. It is up down, not down up. Issues were not raised by Mwananchi. We had not been pressed.
No time for public participation.
No. You see what? No. Allow me to say something.
Yeah.
When we have an issue as Wananchi, Chapter 1 of the Constitution talks about the sovereignty of this country. Yes. Lies within the people. Hii kitu hatujasema tuko na shida ndio we want to amend the Constitution. People seated somewhere have their talk and say, let's have it downward.
Was it not evident that we had loopholes in the Constitution?
It should be down. Ikienda juu.
Okay.
Sio watu watupie maneno.
Let me she's asked a very good question.
And make it brief.
And that question is actually why we went for maandamano. My sister, let me tell you.
Yes.
I vied as IMP Rural constituency under ODM ticket. I am the chairman of ODM Rural constituency. I am Raila Damu. Should we do election today? I'll vote Raila. Yes. On BBI, I will do no. That does not make me DP Ruto's nini. And why am I not following Raila? Because I have a head and a brain.
Sure.
Linda, maybe, so why I'm trying to say this, I'm trying to tell Kenyans, you don't have to be politically affiliated to follow what you're being told. You went to school, to read and to understand. So I got an opportunity to go to these mandamanos, and we were going because of a problem with electoral commission, my sister. Yes. And I said here, we don't need 5 positions. If we change our electoral system and become a viable electoral system where you can tabulate, analyze, and everything election, we will not need 5 positions. Yes. And actually, remember, Linda, if we don't do that right, and I'm telling you this, maandamano itaendelea even after that election. We may not be the people who will be doing then, but another group will do. Yeah. Let me not telling you that handshake killed maandamano. Handshake killed maandamano? No. Handshake just brought 2 proponents together and agreed on a common goal to keep peace. To keep peace.
Not true.
And how should we maintain?
All right.
No, Linda,
come in.
Just allow me.
Let's allow Solomon briefly, and then
I think I've been the most silent person.
Yes. Yet you have the microphone.
To all of you.
Yes.
Allow me to say the following. 1, whoever thinks that the handshake was between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga is wrong. Okay. President Uhuru Kenyatta was elected by 8 million Kenyans who bestowed their trust on him. Raila Amolo Odinga, in the first election of 2017, was elected by over 7.2 million Kenyans who wanted them to represent them at the highest office on the land. We're talking about over 15 million Kenyans who turned out to vote. So it was not a handshake between the two. If a member of parliament votes in parliament for an electorate, it doesn't mean that member of parliament is voting for himself. Is voting on behalf of the people they represent.
That is the mandate under the Constitution.
Just allow him to finish.
Be civil, my friend. Be civil. Learn to be civil. When you elect a member of parliament to represent you, they hold you a brief. That's the point. Article 1 of the Constitution says sovereignty belongs to the people of Kenya. It can be exercised directly or indirectly.
Sure.
So once you choose Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga to have your views, that is the point. Number 2, I want to say the following. We must kill with the strongest terms possible the aspect of lying to Kenyans that the executive is being expanded. The Prime Minister will be a member of Parliament. You cannot become a Prime Minister if you are not first a member of Parliament. BBI also says that 2 Deputy Prime Ministers will be members of the Cabinet. And it also says these 2 DPMs who will be members of the Cabinet can also come from the Parliament, because the President can also draw his Cabinet from the National Assembly. So, if we have a President who appoints a PM from the National Assembly and 2 DPMs who are already members of Parliament and they are in the Cabinet, where have we expanded? Lastly, I want to say this. We had remarks, and it is good to read and follow issues. In Ghana, we just had a highly contested election. Today, those 2 competing principals are contemplating on having a handshake. Are we together? After a very fierce election. Now what we want is this. If you want to be president in 2022, there are people you must work with. 1 is you want to become the president. 2 is you must have an eye on who is to be your prime minister. Who are going to be your 2 deputy prime ministers? Who is going to be the speaker of the National Assembly? Who is going to be the speaker of the Senate? So we are going to have alliances before an election. That is what we are saying, a handshake before an election.
Sure.
Last but not the least, we are introducing into our constitution a very fundamental position that we have ignored for quite some time now. The office of the official leader of opposition. The person who emerges second in an election will automatically become a member of Parliament.
But sometimes the argument is,
let me finish just a minute. I don't want to lose the thought. I don't want to lose the thought.
So we take yes. And Kenneth Chomba says, kijana leo umeangaishwa cha ukweli, tell them who support juu nataka waambie kamanda ndio amekutuma. Huyo ni Solomon. Huyo ni Kenneth amesema hivyo. JT Mzea says, we are standing at about 8 trillion debt as a country right now. The Mombasa port is about to be taken by China. We are badly off. These leaders are a joke. Where will 35% allocation of mashinani come from? Health sector suffers with only 15% allocation. Big joke. Muigai Wambogwa says, great piece there, Solomon. Some more educate. That should be on the last conversation. And well, let's see. Well. We have a couple of them. I want to pick one that is almost totally confused. Who has used lies? Who has given lies here? And lies. And yes, we have Simon N. Denai says, Joy, wewe umepatikana leo. Hata sitakusomea hiyo kwa sababu wamekasirika sana. It is difficult for you, they say, on the seat. And yes. So Samuel says, where Edna? What do you mean? It is since the handshake there have been no demonstrations and protests. How many people shake hands in this country? We should have all-inclusive process. People must not be misled. Gloria.
I think one of the good things about that handshake, that elusive handshake, was that it introduced the conversation that we need to have on the independence of IEBC. The reason why we keep having recurring post-election violence during elections or by elections, by the way, it's not just elections. Like now we're in Sambweni, we've seen what is happening.
Yes.
We are being told what is happening on the ground. The fact that they've even moved the OCPD a day before the elections, we've been told about the intimidation that is on the ground. We are being told about the same things that happen during our presidential elections. So I think the focus should be on how do we make our electoral process independent and transparent, so that by the time that I come into studio here and I am bombarded by the processes that we have here, then I can walk out of studio saying, enyewe leo, nilishindwa. So I think that is the conversation that we should be having in terms of elections.
All right.
And I really
can we listen to Omar Boga and Msambweni now that you brought up the issue of Msambweni, and then we come back.
Okay. All right.
Mzuri sana. Sababu ni kama wanatafuta zile strongholds zangu, waweke kelele na mama wasikuje kupiga kura. And we know their strategy, so we are appealing to our people to come and vote. We are here, and the police is here. Security is maximum, so hiyo ndio my appeal.
Labda mheshimiwa, kulingana na mambo ya COVID-19, tunaona kumekuwa sana mikakati prevent watu kama mwanawetu mtu ambaye
najua changamoto labda ni barakoa. Corona imeshika watu sana, pia kununua shilingi 50 barakoa inakuwa shida, lakini naona COVID wanafanya vizuri kwa sababu sanitizer iko, barakoa iko, so temperature ile gadget iko pale. Kwa hivyo nafikiria wamefanya vizuri. They have done their best as ABC. So far.
Labda siku inavyosonga mbele, labda wakazi watazidi kujitokeza.
Na sisi pia tuna system zetu, tuna mobilize wakuje, sababu itategemea yule ambaye ata mobilize watu wake kupiga kura. So that is what we are trying to do. Wajua watu by election watu wa kidogo na watu wamekuwa na fatigue ya corona, kwa hivyo tunawapush wakuje kupiga kura.
Je, pengine unaonaje tume ya ABC imejipanga kivipi ili kufanikisha shughuli hii?
So far so good. Kulikuwa na shida ya agents kidogo, barua nini, hizi badges za kuingia wale super agents, na wajumbe wetu kutoka Nairobi walikuwa wamekuja, ODM hawakuwa wamepata hizi kitu. Kwa hivyo tumejaribu kuona kwamba pia nao wanaangalia, kwa sababu nimesikia wale group wengine walikuwa wameleta wabunge 40 kwa polling station, lakini jana usiku nisikia pia walikuwa wanatoa pesa huko wakashikwa. So we are ready, tumeman hii sehemu tumeifanya lock. Kwa hivyo mtu yote ambaye ataleta mambo ya kutoa pesa tutamreport kwa polisi.
Umeridhishwa na mikakati ya ABC?
So far. Hoja inaendelea, nikisema nimeridhika katikati iharibike. Jana nisikia kuna watu wa Malindi watakuja, wataletwa, sijaona, lakini kwa hivyo sasa hii kuna rumors nyingi, lakini let's hope that everything will be okay, because we want to have a leader ambaye amechaguliwa democratic, sio yule ambaye amechaguliwa kwa sababu ya mtoto wa bunduki au kwa sababu ya rigi. Mimi nataka kuwa mbunge wa Msambweni ambaye watu wamenichagua, and I believe Mungu akipenda hiyo itakuwa inshallah.
Sawa. Na ndio hivyo alivyozungumza mgombea katika kiti cha ODM Omar Boga, ambaye ameweza kufika hapa dakika chache tu zilizopita kuweza na yeye kujipigia kura. Amesema kwamba kulikuwa na baadhi ya tashwishi zilizoweza kuonekana hapa maeneo aliyopiga kura, lakini pia amesema kwamba ameridhika na vile ambavyo tume ya IEBC inashughulika kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba uchaguzi wa leo hapa eneo bunge la Msambweni unaendelea kwa haki na pia kwa usalama. Kuna baadhi ya mambo tu ambayo mgombea kupitia kiti ya ODM Omar Boga ameweza kuyataja, lakini amesema kwamba maafisa wa polisi wanashughulikia swala hilo. Awali pia vile tuliweza kufika asubuhi na mapema, kituo hiki cha hapa Jogoo kilifunguliwa saa 12, lakini wapiga kura waliweza kujitokeza kwa wingi na wengi walikuwa wamefika vile saa 11 za asubuhi. Kwa hivyo mwenzangu, nitazidi kuwa hapo baadaye nitakwenda mahali ambapo mgombea huru Faisal Bader atakuwa anapiga kura katika shule ya Gaze, na nitaweza kukujuza ni yapi yatakayojiri kufikia hapo.
Well, shukran sana, Mariam, for that, and we're looking forward to get more updates from there. One of the reasons why I picked this one is because it's been looked at as a BBI affair, as a 2022 affair, as a Ruto versus Raila affair. That is the sad reality. I don't know why Eric feels like it is not the case, but yes, you brought it up as you were winding up on your point.
What I was trying to say is that we shouldn't just look at the elections as the presidential election independently, because a lot of when you look at what Omar is talking about, the situation on the ground, when they're talking about the agents having to come, IEBC's how prepared they are, and things like that, including including the fact that some people are already feeling that it's not a fair process. So that is what I was expecting this BBI to address in terms of our electoral process, so that it can address issues of how we even conduct our rallies. Issues such as, I had Edwin Sifuna use the analogy of rape when he's directing that to women out there. Issues that are divisive. Now that to me is divisive politics, and it's not based on issues. So at the end of the day, even if we come up with this expanded executive, which we do have an expanded executive, whether or not they're coming from the MPs, those offices will be created. They're going to need administrative help. They're going to have a mandate. They're going to need budgets. So that is an expanded executive. So for me, I think at the end of the day, when we are addressing the issue of BBI, we should truly focus on what is the problem that BBI is addressing. Is it the transparency and the independence of our electoral processes, or is it a vehicle to ensure that if Raila Odinga runs in 2022 and he's dissatisfied, we want to calm him down, and so therefore we are going to give him an official opposition office so that he understands that he still has a budget. And if that's the case, then we should ask ourselves, 5 years later, if Raila Odinga is still in this our earth, if he decides to run again, are we now going to go into BBI 3.0?
I think, Linda, we focus so much on the extended executive.
You don't have the microphone.
We focus so much on the extended executive, and then we miss out so many other good things that are contained in this BBI. The whole of this session, we have only discussed about that extended executive. We've not even touched on the issues of women.
We spoke on youth.
We've not even touched the chapter of on national ethos. And that is one very sensitive thing that we must look at. Kama hiyo maneno wamesema about some of these things that come up hiyo maneno at time elections, like voter bribery, like the thing that was happening in Samboni last night. Only a person with a rotten head, corrupt to the core, can do that. And the BBI has a whole chapter on how we shall instill morals and virtues in our people.
So should we go the multiple choices way, John?
And you can't commission morals. By the way, there was a correction. Sorry, I meant to put it there. Someone said that it was not two people who shook their hands, because when the president is there, he's representing the people and the MP. I'm not sure who. But I want to say the president holds different hats. He wears different hats. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He is a father. He is a husband. He is also a party leader.
And
he is also he's wearing several hats, and that wasn't clear. And by the way, when Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta are fighting, we don't know if they are fighting in their capacities as party leader, we don't know if they are fighting in their capacities as AU leader and president, or we don't know if they are fighting as businessmen, because they're also businessmen. So we don't know which hat they went to shake hands, whether it was a contract that they were fighting for, then they went to shake hands, and they're bringing us into this situation.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to remind Njohi, we have a whole chapter 10 on national values and principles and governance, which up to date, we are still missing on it. So we don't need to introduce another chapter in the BBI, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to say this.
Make it brief.
If then the BBI underscored the whole issue of health financing, I'll speak that because that is where we are getting so many things wrong. A sick nation is a dead nation. Health financing. And I want to ask Edna, why, and Linda, why Solomon, up to now, 3 months down the line, our county is still not yet receiving their exchequers from the treasury? So whether you put 15%, 0%, 45%, and it's late, then we mean we are continuing with a sick cycle within ourselves.
All right. Mariah.
Yes.
And then we come to Solomon.
Yes. I wanted to put it this way to Solomon, that
where are you addressing?
I'm addressing you because I want you to answer this.
Make it brief. The time is not on our side.
Yeah.
We'll just be told what
if
we said.
in a scenario we get the ruling coalition does not hold the majority in the parliament like it was in 2007, 2008. And the BBI is proposing that the majority coalition will provide, or the prime minister will come from that side. And the president is now from the minority coalition. If the president will appoint the PM and his deputies from that coalition, which is opposition, whose government will the PM be reading in the parliament? Because he's supposed to read the government function.
Okay.
All right. I'm coming to this. You'll answer that.
So make it brief.
Yes. What I'm saying also.
I want to say, I think you have had your cake.
No. It's Solomon who's responding to Moriah, and then we'll come back to you for your closing remarks.
Again, I come to reading. Clearly, I can tell he has not read, because it is very clear that the Prime Minister and the official leader of opposition will not be from the same political party. It is very clear in the document. So the mechanisms will be arrived at. But I want us to educate our young people, because that is why we are here.
Briefly.
And I'm very keen on saying the truth. BBI has 4 frameworks. It has policy framework, it has administrative framework, it has legislative framework, and constitutional framework. Administrative and policy will not require referendum. We are very keen on that. Constitutional and legislative we require. So that's why I find it so ignorant when I find some people asking, do we need a referendum to bring up matters youth, to do away with help and all that? I would say it is into 4 frameworks. Some will be acted upon by the executive at the policy level and administrative. Then constitutional will automatically go to the Mwananchi referendum.
And there are only 5 of those issues that are constitutional.
Can I?
Which is why we're asking for multiple.
Parliament. Are we together? So the issues that will require us to go to a referendum are about 8 in this BBI.
There are 5. There are 5 issues.
No, I have my explanation. Number 2, and the very close one, it is pure conmanship. Conmanship to say that there will be consensus or to ask for consensus in BBI. BBI is a political process. That's why we are mentioning Uhuru Kenyatta here and Raila Amolo Odinga. It's a political process. There has never been a consensus in a political process.
Right.
Choose your path. Walk with it. The document is not good for you, say no.
Okay.
It is good for you, say yes.
All right.
That is what we need.
Edna, and then bring the microphone.
Like watermelon.
Edna,
there are 5
make
issues.
it brief, please. Make it brief. That microphone should be coming this way.
My closing remarks this morning will go to Murang'a County youths. I'm urging them to support BBI because the senator has fronted 2 bills that have been featured in the BBI. That is in health. Those people who have gone to school and they're still paying their health, they know what it means. And then we have that 5%. We also have the word equalization fund, which is also going to be catered for by that 5% that is going to county. So let's go for it. It's going to help us. Money is coming to our counties. Thank you.
Wow.
Yes, fine, thank you. First of all, I'll support Mr. Solomon Kuria. When he said that the Prime Minister will be coming from the Parliament, if you look at the document, it clearly says the Prime Minister will be entitled to 1 salary. Akisachaguliwa Prime Minister aondoke salary ya MP achukue ya Prime Minister. Akiondolewa kwa nini kwa Prime Minister arudi kwa Parliament achukue salary yake. That was not the case there before. The case was nikichaguliwa Parliament nipate salary ya Parliament then ya Minister. But sasa hii imeshaondolewa. Hapa watu wanaambiwa mambo ya mzigo, ati kuna mzigo inaongezwa sijui 70 constituencies. Kuna kitu nitasema, watu hawaangalii zile viti ambazo zinapeanwa. Kwa nini kwa nomination? About mimi kama nimesupport Kuria kikuwa president ananinominate. So there will be no nepotism. It's coming to an end. So what I will say is that I will tell people wasome your document. Wachambue, waiangalie, waache kuambiwa, waache kusomewa. Hii kitu tuiangalie sisi wenyewe.
All right. Keep it talk. And then we come to Eric and we close the session.
All right. In my closing remarks from Nandi County, mi nasema hivi. Hii mtu wetu Konoshon should be ejected with lots of power from our head. These people are using us without directly influencing our lives. Secondly, there are some pertinent issues we have to touch. If we talk about nominating some section of people to justify the gender rule, we want to be given, we want every Kenyan to compete for that post.
Okay.
Mtu anaweza, he can appoint his concubines or what. So we want that thing.
So we're coming from a patriarchal society, and we're really trying to, empower these women to.
We want that nomination. We want that nomination to be subjected to Kenyans. Mtu asikuja na watu wake tuinweke watu watatu.
All right.
Second to the last.
Second to the last is might be too much.
Okay, the issue of women reps.
Make it last.
Women reps. Kupeleka wanawake kwenda Senate and removing the powers that they have been entitled to, making them tokenistic, to give them the opportunity. Like you are telling a woman, you sit there to be a representative without a function.
Is it so? Is it so really?
Senate has powers.
Finally, I want.
Can we talk? Make it brief, please.
Okay, finally, I want to say this BBI thing. I want to tell all the youths in Kenya that all the good things in BBI are not constitutional. They are not subjected to referendum. This can be done through legislation.
We have said that already.
Yeah. Finally, I want to say this thing is not good for us.
Close it, Rogalo, please.
Thank you so much. I was one of those people who followed BBI closely. I was one of the writers, gave a lot of views and even documents, appeared in so many of those sessions. I was pro Health Service Commission, and we argued so much about it. All of a sudden, it was removed, and no one communicated to us why they removed it. I mean, when you remove something, just tell us, write a letter to our Kenya Gazette or in newspaper, print it and say reasons why you removed it, so that we and I think Ruto said very well, I may be too slow to understand, and right now, if the person who's supposed to make you understand did not even give you reason to understand, then I'm pro no. The other reason why it is imperative to understand our country, we need institutions that are strong. We need IEBC that is strong, so that we can have elections that is okay. We don't need many seats so that we say have a handshake all the time. We're going to have a handshake every election, because a handshake with the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, so that we have a good election. What about the 5 that we lose?
All right, well, we'll close it at that. Moriah, let's close it at that. Let me take this microphone.
I'm saying
30 seconds.
If, and I can say here, it has been agreed that let's read, understand, and then we vote for that. Decision. So it's agreed that if we will not get copies, the way we got those 4 signatures, let's all agree with Kenyans out there that we will not vote. We are not ready for that.
All right, we close it at that. We close it at that.
And Linda, since this is a youth panel, we are all a youth panel, right? Yes. I think it would be imperative to close it with the points that BBI is bringing for the youth, which is the National Youth Commission. The fact that it's not going to be institution, there's no timeline about it. The tax break, the fact that we don't have jobs to pay taxes anyway. The HELB loan, which is saying after 4 years we'll not pay. When you're tarmacking, it takes you up to 7 years to get a job. So again, it is irrelevant. And the fact that the expansion of
Joseph, let's close it. Let's close it. That was the last speaker, Gloria Oruba. Thank you so much. So Joseph Moriah, Buru Karanja, Johi Njuguna, John Njoroge, Robert Kibitok, Gloria Oruba, Eric Regalo, Solomon Kuria. Thank you so much. After this break, we come back with more.